going blue is inevitable. Inevitable. It will happen. The only question is when, Texas?
There you've got New York Congresswoman Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez calling for a blue wave this November in Texas. She was rallying for a progressive candidate looking to unseat one of her current Democratic colleagues. That really going to work in Texas? Let's talk to Texas Land Commissioner and Attorney General candidate George P. Bush, who, as you can see right there, joins us from Austin. George, good morning to you.
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
So what do you make of AOC going down to Texas to campaign for a Democrat who's squaring off against another Democrat who apparently wasn't progressive enough for her?
Well, as is the case, she's all hat, no cattle, as we say in Texas. And she's promised everything under the moon and stars in providing a false hope to liberal progressives in our state, but it's going to fall on deaf ears. Look, the Democrat Party is more divided than ever. And so what that means for Republicans like myself is to encourage Texans on the first day of early voting, by the way, which is today, to get engaged in the process and understand that socialists are trying to bring their ideas to our state. Look at one of the attorney general candidates in our race on the other side of the aisle. They are suing the state of Texas to prevent us from enforcing criminal trespassing claims. We have others that are part of the defund the police movement. One of the other candidates the AOC supported here in the city limits of Austin defunded our police with over $200 million off its budget. And last year we saw the rate of homicide exceed any other recorded year since they've been doing this since 1962 in Austin. So these ideas are dangerous and it's laughable to many, but I'm reminding my fellow Republicans, if we don't get serious about this, the state could turn more blue, especially in races where we don't nominate the right candidates, including my race.
Well, one of the candidates is a woman by the name of Jessica Cisneros. She was a Brooklyn immigration attorney until just a couple of years ago, and then she went down to Texas to start to run, lost her first race, and now is running against Henry Cuellar, a Democrat, a famous Democrat. But Henry's had some trouble recently. We broke the story a couple of weeks ago how the FBI was at his house. That's never good for somebody.
That's correct, and let's let the legal process play out on Henry. But Henry has been good for the oil and gas industry. He's been solid on securing our borders. Look, I'll say Texans throughout our communities here want secure borders. They want to back our law enforcement, reduce the amount of violent crime and human trafficking and fentanyl that's pouring over our side of the border. And so this should be a bipartisan issue, but then you have socialists come down to Texas lecturing us how to record our own values, and that's just not going to work in our state.
Well, the whole idea of the AOC trip was to energize Texans, and here we are on Monday morning, we're talking about a trip. So it got us energized to talk politics. George P. Bush, he's running for the AG down in TX. George, thank you very much for joining us live.